HomeCourtEdge TV is here for your viewing pleasure. Please click that button as we strive for 1,000 subscribers. Enjoy this video.
Beach or a ball game in Southern California. Let's look at the New York Liberty starting lineup today. Vicki Johnson, the leading scorer. Kim Hampton, Sue Wicks, Teaspoon. Teresa Weatherspoon is the point guard, and Sophia Witherspoon is the shooting guard. And the Los Angeles Sparks, a record of 12-6. Milton, Leslie, the leading scorer, and Fred up front. Mabika, who is the second leading scorer for Los Angeles, averaging 11 a game, and Grubin has done such a good job at the point for the Sparks. Richie Adubato, the NBA veteran, 19 years in the NBA, is the New York head coach, and another NBA veteran, the former player Orlando Woolridge, heads the Sparks. Well, the New York Liberty have been fighting injuries since the first game of the season when Rebecca Lobo went down. And for more on the injuries, let's go to Lisa Miloski.
Thanks, Tom. We begin with Kim Hampton, who has been playing all season long with a very sore right knee. She said some days are better than others, although today is one of those better days, although she has missed the last 3 New York practices. Rookie Tamika Whitmore is still recovering from a severely sprained left ankle. She told me it is about 80% today. And on the Los Angeles side, a return to the court by Ukari Figs. She's been sidelined since July 1st with a severely sprained right ankle. Coach Orlando Woolridge says we will see her in action in the first half. Tom?
All right, Lisa. As Lisa Leslie has the ball deflected out of bounds, Los Angeles retains possession. Lisa Mattingly, Pat Frayer, and Roy Gilbeggin are the officials for today's game.
Well, this is going to be a game of Los Angeles trying to score a lot of points. They lead the league in scoring against the #1 team defensively. They've got to put a lot of pressure defense, not only on the inside, Tom, but also on the perimeter to make it difficult to get the pass inside.
Kim Hampton committing the game's first foul, sending Delisha Milton to the free throw line. We talked about Delisha last week from Florida, and her nickname is Sunshine, and she just lights up the room with her smile and even carries that good humor over to something that could be tragic. You know, as an 11-year-old in Georgia where she grew up, she was in the swimming pool and was wading along the side of the pool and didn't realize it had a precipitous drop from 5 feet to about 12. She walked off the ledge, as it were, hit her head on the side of the pool as she fell to the bottom of the pool. She was struggling to get to the surface, had sort of a seizure, could see the lifeguard there, then passed out, and the next thing she remembered was having her bathing suit cut off of her, spitting up water, being resuscitated. And she put a comic twist on it, though, saying, with all those boys around, I was more worried about them cutting off my suit than drowning.
Well, the Sparks are definitely happy that she was available because she has brought some sunshine to the Sparks team.
We commented last week that especially evident in her new roommate, Lisa Leslie, who, by the way, encouraged Delisha to take swimming lessons, and about 3 weeks ago, she finally did learn how to swim. Steele, Johnson. Vicki Johnson against Milton, who swats it and swats her arm as well.
And Delisha Milton and Lisa Leslie have a tendency to get into foul trouble early, which has hurt the LA Sparks. Delisha Milton with that 84-inch wingspan getting called for the first foul. You know, you talked about roommates. Delisha Milton and Lisa Leslie are roommates. They've decided to be together. They're very good friends from the World Championship team. And most players throughout the league are by themselves. They're loners. They have boyfriends. They have, you know, a lot of them are married in this league too. So these two, which good friends, and it's not only that off-court friendship, you can really see it on the court too.
No one can hit a free throw. We're still a 1-0 game. Offensive rebound that time by Mabika, and then Gordana missing the three-pointer.
You know, you mentioned that New York was out-rebounded 41-18 against Sacramento, and Yolanda Griffith had 19 rebounds. She alone out-rebounded New York. This is a good play by New York, establishing inside right away, going to Kim Hampton. She scores, but she's going to pick up a foul right there.
That'll be her second if it is on Kim, who just scored the Liberty's first field goal.
We asked her yesterday about the rivalry between her and Lisa Leslie, and she goes, there's no rivalry. We're good friends, but you've got to play hard against good players in this league, and definitely Kim Hampton does. And I think you've got to get up for a team like LA when they're doing so well.
It is the second foul on Kim Hampton, who has announced her retirement at the end of this season. Lisa Leslie, tough shot, will not go down. Witherspoon to Weatherspoon, and New York trying to push it up court. Hampton posting, wanted it, couldn't get it to her.
There are 6 out of the top 10 three-point shooters in this game today. 4 of them are from New York, and LA would like to force New York to take some outside shots.
New York, on the other hand, leads the league in three-point shooting as VJ Vicki Johnson hits her first field goal.
Good screen down low to open her up. Just enough space to get a wide open shot. Adebayo talked about forcing LA to take outside shots, and good defense by New York. There's another steal by Vicki Johnson.
Took it away from Fred. Here's her pass to Weatherspoon. Not a good one, but Teaspoon able to gain control. Now on the half court, backing in against Grubin. Wicks from outside. Kick ball. It'll be a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Orlando Woolridge has made some changes. He's got Gordana Grubin starting, and also Lakeisha Fret has come into the lineup for Tamika Dixon. So Richie Adebayo talked about this team being a different team. Yes, it is. It has a different lineup than the first time they met.
Kim Hampton has her second field goal. Hampton going to the left hand on the little jump hook. And it's a 6-2 Liberty lead.
That's a positive for the Liberty. They're going inside, using their strength, their physicalness, with Kim Hampton being a big, strong player, and she's using her body. Another steal for New York.
Teaspoon, who leads the league in steals, takes it all the way, missed the layup. Witherspoon, the rebound, pump fake, she missed. Bodies everywhere, and a loose ball foul will be called on New York. New York had 2 layups, missed them both.
And we had New York against Houston a few weeks ago, and when they missed a couple easy layups, it was downhill from there. I don't think it'll happen again, but a great steal by New York. You've got to take care of the basketball against this team. She gets the angle, goes in with the right hand, and misses contact. You've got to try and create contact if you're going to miss layups.
Fred with the entry pass to Leslie. Quick double team. That's part of the New York strategy. Comes right back to Fred. Grubin penetrates, pulls up, partially blocked, and New York has it again. We're seeing that good defense that New York plays, leading the league in points allowed.
And you talk about the decision-making with Lisa Leslie. As soon as she gets the basketball, she's got to look to pass it out quickly, not for her shot more so, because she's got to open up everybody else because New York is doubling down.
They brought Wicks outside. Leslie coming only part way out with her as Witherspoon misses a 3. Long rebound comes to Fret. Grubin to Leslie running the floor and laid it in for the first Los Angeles field goal. They're only 1 of 5, but there you see Lisa Leslie running the court.
And Richie Adebayo talked about transition defense. The hard part, you want to get a second or third opportunity, so you've got to hit the boards. And we talked about New York hitting the boards, but once you do that and you don't get it against LA, they're off to the races.
They would like to do a little zone press occasionally to slow LA down, but in order to set it up, you got to make a shot. Leslie, Hampton out on her. Now screen. Mabika. Bad looking shot. Wicks with a long pass picked off by Mabika.
LA on the offensive end, Tom, they've just got to get a little bit more ball movement. They're getting one rotation there, jump shot, dribble. They're not really running through a lot of options. You've got to get about 3, 4, 5 passes in the offense, especially against this kind of defense. You've got to be patient. You've got 30 seconds on the clock.
Grubin with another LA miss. Wicks wide open, 17-footer, front rim no good. Here's Milton. All the way, feeds it off to Mabika, who laid it in. There's the transition game of the Sparks, and they tied it at 6.
Well, you sure have an advantage when you can get the ball off the glass and take it yourself, and Delisha Milton, who usually doesn't handle the ball, makes a nice pass to Mabika, filling on the wing.
Fast break points in favor of the Sparks. Johnson to Wicks, but first a whistle. And a 3-second violation against New York. Well, the transition game getting Los Angeles back in it after they trailed early. Lisa Leslie with that layup. And a few moments later, Milton all the way to Mabika to lay it in. And we're tied at 6. Orlando Woolridge took over as interim coach almost a year ago, just a week shy of a year exactly, and he has turned around the Los Angeles Sparks. in every category, and his share the ball philosophy has paid off for this team.
It really has. They've come in preseason. I saw this team the first day of preseason. There was so much more relaxation. The players got along, and he established himself as a coach. He was going to make decisions no matter what players did the first 2 years. He was going to get this team playing together, and some players that started are sitting the bench and coming off, and they're playing roles on this team.
Milton with a miss, but Mabika, the offensive rebound, she misses the putback, and Hampton has another rebound for New York.
Wadi Mabika is such a good athlete. The thing is, she's so young and knowing this game, and a play like that, she probably should have gone into the defense to get herself to the free throw line instead of avoiding the contact.
After being out-rebounded by Sacramento 41-18, Yolanda Griffith out-rebounded New York by herself. Richie Adubato said he had never seen such a thing, wrote it on the board, and said his team was embarrassed, doing a much better job on the boards to start this game as Witherspoon hits her first basket and puts New York back on top.
And New York leading in the rebounding category 7-6.
Lisa Leslie from outside, and Hampton hauls down another one. 3 rebounds for Kim.
In the offense right now, LA, Tom, they're really frustrated. They're not getting the ball inside, but they're not getting the good ball movement, so they're settling for the outside shot.
Vicki Johnson, the crossover, and draws a foul from Mabika. Mawadi Mabika with her first foul.
New York also doing a better job on the offensive end than they did 2 nights ago against Sacramento. They're being patient. Richie Adubato talked about their team running through the options. They've got to get more than 1 or 2 passes, and sometimes New York, they get frustrated. Richie Adubato really worked on his team even before the game. He had all of them out here before warm-ups, and they were walking through their offenses and everything, and he said, you got to be patient. They know how good a defensive team they are. They've got to play good defense against LA, which they're doing now. Run the offense like that.
Just like that, Crystal Robinson, who just checked in during that dead ball, hits a 3-pointer. Crystal Robinson and Tamika Whitmore coming in for New York, replacing Hampton and Witherspoon.
And Robinson will kill you off the bench. She can knock down those threes. They thought about starting her, but she's so explosive off the bench.
Fret shot blocked by Robinson. New York, the more aggressive team here early. Here's Whitmore, the rookie. Double team, found the open player. Robinson whips it underneath. Vicki Johnson. Here's Whitmore, got the shot away. Good ball movement. They just couldn't finish by making the shot. Leslie clears for Los Angeles.
But like you said, it's a good percentage shot. You miss it, oh well. Go back down on the other end. But they ran the offense nicely that time.
Milton on the low post, a wild sweeping hook, and Wicks hands it off to Witherspoon.
LA is playing their 3rd home game in a row. They beat Houston on Sunday. They beat Phoenix on Wednesday. And both those games, the emotions were running so high, they were so focused. They're not as focused in this game coming out against New York.
Should have been a foul call, I thought, as Vicki Johnson went to the basket, and then on the ensuing rebound, there is a whistle. And I think Mawadi Mabika will be called for the personal foul. New York Liberty leading the Sparks by 5. Welcome back to Los Angeles, where we take a look at the Bud Light shooting champions. A little more than halfway through the season, Washington's Muriel Page leads the league in field goal percentage, 56.8, while Ava Nemkova of Cleveland still tops the WNBA from the free throw line at 97.6. Vicki Johnson, Penny Toller among the league leaders. At the end of the season, the WNBA players with the best field goal and free throw percentage will share $25,000, a portion of which will be donated to each of the players' local charity of choice. Crystal Robinson misses a 3. Whitmore, the offensive rebound, draws the foul as she takes it back up.
We talked about, Tom, about both teams coming out aggressive. New York is coming out real aggressive. Their front line, Whitmore, Hampton, Wicks, they are using their bodies. They're being aggressive on the boards. And LA right now is struggling. Not only on the defensive end, the offensive end. They're shooting 15% right now.
As Whitmore toes the line, Los Angeles has sent Nina Biedov and Tamika Dixon into the game for the first time, looking for a combination that will work.
I like this kid, this Tamika Whitmore. She's just got a lot of savvy out there. She wants to learn. She talked to us yesterday about the first time she came out and played against Lisa Leslie, and she introduced herself, said, "Hi, I'm Tamika Whitmore, and I've watched you on TV."
All Lisa could do was laugh at that.
Well, believe me, a lot of people are going to see Whitmore play a lot of games on TV, and they'll know who she is.
Here's that zone press employed by Richie Adubato of the Liberty. trying to negate some of the quickness and speed advantage that the Sparks have. Leslie in backcourt to get it for Los Angeles. Here's Tamika Dixon, the starter last season, who has embraced her role off the bench. And as he says, the coach wants her to be like Latrell Sprewell. That's not the choking part, the instant offense part.
Well, she's accepting that role. I don't think very happily or easily, because she started last year. She was 5th in the WNBA in scoring with over 16 points, and she knows that she has an overall game and is not. She just doesn't want to be a scorer. She knows that she can play defense and rebound and pass the ball. And I think her game is coming along, though, because Orlando said, look, this is your role, you accept it, and everything else will come.
The 8 off and Wicks. And New York controls the tap. Here's a run out. Dixon is back to cut off Weatherspoon, who had to chase it down in the corner, but New York sets it up, leading 12-6. New York has been the sharper, more aggressive team so far. Robinson, quick pass, Whitmore. Beadoff with a hand in the back, commits the personal foul.
Again, the patience of New York on the offensive end, completely different than they were 2 nights ago against Sacramento, but give credit to Sacramento as far as the kind of defense they played on New York. But here you see Gordana Grubin going out.
And Penny Toller in for Orlando Woolridge, who's still trying to find a combination that will click. Toller also a sometime starter, the lady that scored the first WNBA field goal as the Sparks hosted the Liberty in the first ever game on June 21st, 97. Sue Wicks.
Just taking to the basket. Talked to Michael Cooper before the game, and he was saying, you know, we've got to lay off a little bit. We can't keep rotating and help out so much. We want Teresa Weatherspoon to beat us on the inside because she's a player that doesn't always look for the shot. She'll look for the pass. So you can see that LA was just standing out there, and the drive was wide open for Wicks.
Dixon. Tamika Dixon breaks an 8-0 New York run, and there's that instant offense that Orlando Woolridge wants from Tamika when he sends her into the game.
And that's got to be an icebreaker for the Sparks. They've got to become more aggressive. They've got to feel confident in their offense.
Robinson, the no-look pass. Whitmore, collision, and a New York foul. Lisa Leslie took the charge.
A break for LA because Robinson had the defense beat. The ball was hit from behind, and she kind of kept going, and Lisa Leslie held her ground. That's where they got the call. So a break for the Sparks.
Crystal committing her first foul. Allison Feaster into the game for the first time for the Sparks.
They're calling the offensive foul on Lisa Leslie, saying that she wasn't set and kind of turned her body.
And those are the kind of fouls that she would rather avoid. Those away from the ball fouls, those needless fouls, really, and it's her second.
And last week, NBC had the LA Sparks against the Phoenix Mercury, and LA committed a lot of fouls because Phoenix shot 41 free throws in that game. LA cannot afford to let that happen in this game.
Hampton back in the game, gets it on the low post, and niftily puts it in from in close. Kim Hampton came ready to show us something today. We saw her yesterday, and the first thing I said, get a rebound. I thought she was going to smack me. Weatherspoon with a steal, and the pass to Johnson. Her pull-up shot goes, and New York pouring it on Los Angeles at the moment. The Liberty up by 10, their first double-digit lead, and a 20-second timeout taken by Los Angeles in the face of a 12-2 New York run.
What makes Kim Hampton tough to guard, she's big, wide body, but she's left-handed also. Lisa Leslie's played enough against her, but there she gets beat going for the steal instead of playing position defense, and Beadoff is too late coming over to help out. There you see the ball going inside to Lisa Leslie. She tries to make the turn, and 4, 5 black jerseys all over. What's got to happen for LA right now is when the ball goes into Lisa Leslie, it's got to be almost a touch pass to somebody spotted up or cutting to the basket, probably more so spotted up, and get it right back outside, and then you can rotate it back around to the weak side to get an open shot.
And Lisa has to quickly recognize the double and triple team and get rid of the ball in a hurry before they collapse on her.
We talked about her decision making. A lot of it has helped, and since she made a phone call to her Olympic coach this year in the year 2000 coming up, Nell Fortner, and said, what kind of things can I do differently? And Nell Fortner pointed out that you've got to be able to see that other players are open. You're getting doubled and tripled teamed. You've got to get rid of the basketball.
And for the most part this season, she has done just that. But New York did a good job on her in the first meeting that New York won by 12, holding her to 4 of 13. Doing a good job on her here so far today is Feaster with an air ball 3. Leslie sits with 2 fouls, having scored only 2 points.
Also, with these outside shots that the Sparks are taking, Tom, they're only getting 1-shot opportunities.
New York with an 11-7 rebounding edge. Surprising considering they only had 18 rebounds the entire game at Sacramento. Missed layup as Whitmore went down, and laying on the floor, she almost grabbed it again from Milton. Laying in the weeds waiting for that one. She was lying on the floor and almost had the steal. The Adolph quick shot. Hampton, outlet Witherspoon. Witherspoon runs the court and lays it in.
And look at LA. They look like they just quit on that. They had about 3 yellow jerseys just almost stop at half court. They never even crossed. As soon as the shot went up, New York got it. They just stopped playing.
Witherspoon was streaking for the other end, and knowing Hampton would get it. Hampton with a quick outlet to Witherspoon. The lead pass was textbook.
You know, Orlando Woodridge talked about the confidence this team has in beating Houston, but they haven't shown it coming out against New York in this game so far.
New York with a little fast break action of its own when Orlando Woolridge team normally is known as the running team. Milton with a bad-looking shot short. Another rebound for Hampton. She has 5. Witherspoon threw it too hard for Crystal Robinson. They had the numbers, and they turn it over.
Boy, give credit to New York. They're the ones out to the races. They are running. Orlando Woolridge talked to us about his team was going to run. They want to run. They're a good rebounding team. But look at on the other end. Richie Adabato's team making a commitment in this game, being aggressive, going to the boards, and that's how they're getting their running game going.
Coquise Washington replacing Teresa Witherspoon at the point as Penny Toller takes it to the rim and draws the foul. Penny Toller foul, trying to get Los Angeles back into it. 7:57 left in the half. The Liberty lead 20-8.
Here in the WNBA, Yolanda Griffith leads the league in rebounding, second in scoring, having a great year. Cheryl Swoops, she is just focused on becoming an MVP this year. And Cynthia Cooper, 2-time MVP in the WNBA. She's also looking pretty sharp as she leads the league in scoring. My top 3, but the best newcomers, Griffith and Holland Korn out of Sacramento, playing really well, not getting a lot of credit. And the top coaches there, you see Carolyn Peck, an expansion team. Sonny Allen has turned things around in Sacramento, and Orlando Woolridge has really kind of solidified things here in Los Angeles. I think those 3 have done a pretty good job.
I bet you when you had your report card, you had all A's in that report card.
Hey,
is that right?
Don't tell my kids that. Don't do as I say. Or do as I say, don't do as I do.
Penny Toller sinks the 2 free throws. And finally, with under 8 minutes left in the half, LA has cracked double figures. Washington now at the point for the Liberty.
Nice pass.
Hampton, Kim Hampton. Kim's having a big game with 8 points already and 5 rebounds.
Just that little penetration by Washington split the defense, and they had to make a decision.
Whitmore deflects the pass. New York with another steal. Washington hesitation against Feaster. Kicks it back to Whitmore. Now they'll set it up. See the shooting. Abysmal for the Sparks. Almost as bad as an earlier game when we had New York. And they shot at one point 10%. Richie Adebato said he wasn't too glad to see us when we showed up again after that display. Washington with a hand check foul in the backcourt.
Well, he said he didn't want to see something like that again. LA talked about maybe sagging off the point guard against New York and Coquise Washington. There you're going to see the rotation back. But look at the left-hand dribble. The defense, Tamika Dixon turns her back and leaves Kim Hampton wide open, and Washington, seeing that the perimeter player was going to be guarded, saw the interior player wide open. Nice pass.
Leslie and Grubin are back in for Los Angeles. Sue Wicks returns for New York. Dixon lost the pass and then fouls Washington trying to get it back.
And Grubin does not make a good pass right there, Tom. She cut off the spacing and really dribbling with the one hand. She committed herself with the one-hand shot pass instead of picking it up with two hands, seeing that Dixon was covered and the pass was too close, could have held on with two hands and set things up. So the decision-making right now that we talked about early in the game that LA has been doing really good so far, coming into this game, they're not performing now.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Yukari Figs, who had been the point guard before being injured and replaced by Grubin. She hasn't played since spraining her ankle, but we were told was going to play today. Wicks on the high post. Washington, nowhere to go. Got a screen from Hampton. Robinson for three.
And look at that. New York going to the boards. LA not blocking out. Not very good job by LA in staying after the basketball.
Wicks with a save in bounds. Washington not very quick to the ball. Almost lost it to Grubin, but was able to get control. Just under 6 minutes left in the half. It's been all New York. Witherspoon, nice move. Sophia Witherspoon.
And this is the best I've seen Sophia Witherspoon play in a long time. She has really struggled this first half for New York, and it's good for her to get off like that and score some points.
18-4 run, another New York steal. Here's the lead pass. Witherspoon again, puts it up, got it.
Orlando Woolridge not happy at all. The Sparks not taking care of the basketball, lackluster passes, and they're just not sharp. They're not making great cuts, but again, give credit to New York, being aggressive, going after the basketball. They're setting everything up. Good passing, baseline wide open, Tamika Dixon out of position, and not only scoring on the offensive end, playing good defense and coming up with a lot of breaks as far as fast breaks are concerned. And New York leading it right now, 26-10 over the LA Sparks.
I'm a sophomore guard at the University of Pennsylvania. Been training with HomeCourtEdge for almost 10 years now. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us on all of HC's social media channels, and stay tuned for our journey.
5.5 minutes till halftime. 26-10, New York leading Los Angeles. Log on to WNBA.com for the latest scores and stats from games around the league. More info about the Liberty and the Sparks, plus complete bios for every player in the league. Go to WNBA.com and connect with the game. Let's go to Lisa Miloski.
Thanks, Tom. Orlando Woolridge very animated in that last huddle. He looked at his players and said, are we afraid to go to the basket? Because that's what it looks like. We are going to face teams that are physical like this all season long. We cannot play backing up. We have to play aggressive, be physical. He said, attack the basket, which is exactly what they just did, Tom.
Delisha Milton with the field goal. There's been no spark in Los Angeles yet. Perhaps he can get him going.
No, exactly. And Orlando Woolridge in the timeout is saying, I'm embarrassed. You guys better be embarrassed too. We've got it. And that's exactly right. They need somebody with some fire that wants to go out there and really perform. And Lisa Leslie told us yesterday that the teams they have trouble with are the teams that are physical with them.
What about that? They get the ball right inside to Sue Wicks, 2 feet from the rim, and she hits the hook shot.
And right away, they're going inside out of that timeout, both times to Delisha Milton. The one thing, you got to get the ball when the players are in the move. That's what LA did not do in the first part of this half, and they struggled because they're standing asking for the basketball. And Sue Wicks comes right back. The lane is wide open for New York inside.
Witherspoon committing that foul in the reach in as the three-pointer finally goes down for Mabika.
LA not only is not rebounding well, not playing great defense, but also they're not taking care of the basketball. They have 9 turnovers right now in the first half,
which have resulted in 12 points for the Liberty. Gordana Grubin committing her first foul. New York puts it in play with 4:31 left till halftime. Hampton gets it to Witherspoon. Wicks driving on Leslie. Lisa Leslie playing with 2 fouls. Johnson tried the up and under, cut off. Vicki Johnson Knocked down as she put the shot up. Mabika runs the floor, misses the layup, then taps it in. Mawadi Mabika.
We talked about her athleticism and where she takes off to take a shot on a layup. It was pretty shot going in, but that shows you the inexperience also as a basketball player to knock those shots down the first time.
She has 7 points and 3 offensive rebounds. Witherspoon for 3. Sophia Witherspoon has the hot hand. She has 11 points. Only player in the game in double figures. She's hit 5 of her 7 shots.
The Sparks cannot afford to leave her open.
Milton to Leslie. Call underneath. The outside official signaled a charge. The inside official has another call, apparently. Let's see.
It looks like Lisa Mattingly is saying she was pushed from behind. They're going to call the charge instead.
It is ruled a charging foul, nullifying the basket. Here it is.
Alicia Milton, there you see, they wanted the push from behind. Sue Wicks kept her hands off. Kim Hampton rotating over. It was a good idea by LA to give the ball inside to Lisa Leslie, but Alicia Milton picking up another foul.
Johnson got the screen. Couldn't get the shot away. Mabika defending her. Crossover dribble, still can't work herself free. Pick and roll, Hampton. Kim Hampton with a show of emotion as she pumps her fist down court. Leslie, the long pass, she lays it in. LA caught the New York defense napping that time.
Hampton shooting only 38% from the floor coming in has really made her mark and her presence known in this first half.
She has 10 points. Witherspoon got free. Layup wouldn't go. Leslie had it knocked away by Wicks. LA ball. Here's another long pass. And once again, LA catches. New York loafing back on defense. Alicia Milton with 6 points. 33-21. And a New York timeout at 20. Richie Adebayo has seen his team twice be caught napping by the long LA pass for a layup.
Well, he was really hot after that one because not only it was out of an out-of-bounds play that his team was so slow getting back. There you see Lisa Leslie, and good heads-up play by Gordana Grubin. This is what Orlando Woolridge told us about Grubin coming into the game. She sees the floor, she pushes it up. She doesn't dribble it up. She sees somebody open, and it makes her teammates want to run down the floor to get the ball because Grubin's going to get it to them.
Here's what's coming up on national television in the WNBA this week. Monday on ESPN, 7:30 Eastern Time start as these New York Liberty, awfully tough at home, host Charlotte. And then on Friday, Lifetime, 9 p.m. Eastern Time start, these Sparks will host Utah.
And New York does have a better record at home. They are 2-5 on the road, but they're looking for a victory today.
They lead 33-21. Milton nearly stole the inbounds pass. New York gets it back.
Well, just those 2 offensive plays by LA has really helped their emotions. The crowd has gotten into it a little bit more, and that helps the Sparks.
Well, since Orlando Woolridge read his team the riot act during that timeout, they have responded with more aggressive up-tempo play, and they've outscored New York 9-5. Nikki Johnson bumped as she comes off the screen as LA has become more physical since that tongue lashing. Shot clock violation. There's the LA defense paying off. New York looked befuddled that time. I don't think they realized after the timeout they had a shortened possession.
That's right. They had crossed half court. They called a 20-second timeout, and they did not recognize that they did not have the full 30 seconds.
Leslie, entry pass to Milton. Got right around Wicks, missed the layup. And a loose ball foul will be called on the rebound.
And a good job to get that offensive rebound. What's happening right now, New York not being able to double down as much. They know that they want to double down on Lisa Leslie. Well, what LA has done, they've switched Alicia Milton down low. So now defensively it's spread a little bit more, so she has room to move in there.
Kim Hampton committing her 3rd foul. Milton is much quicker than Sue Wicks, who's trying to guard her inside. She just quickly went around her that time.
You know, and I talked to Sue Wicks yesterday talking about Yolanda Griffith, Yo-Yo, and who had 29 points and 19 rebounds. And she said, you know what, even when you're blocking her out, even when you're grabbing her, she is gone. She is so quick. Delisha Milton has that kind of quickness.
And the free throw on the way. Coming up on our Lee Dungarees Can't Bust 'Em halftime report, Ahmad Rashad in our New York studio. A story on the outstanding New York Liberty rookie Tamika Whitmore, plus highlights of the U.S.-Argentina game in the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. All coming up on the Lee Dungarees Can't Bust 'Em halftime report. Vicki Johnson from outside. Not a very good shot. Rebounded by Grubin. Quickly to Mabika. Wicks was able to break that pass up, and New York has another steal. Vicki Johnson lost it out of bounds.
What's happened, L.A. coming out of that timeout, as you said, Tom, they have picked up the pace a little bit. New York is not controlling the tempo as much as they were early on.
10-point lead for New York, but their biggest margin was 16. Mabika. She'll draw the foul as she sprints to the rim. And boy, it looks like a different team out there for Los Angeles.
Well, it really does. And a good baseline move right there by Vicki Johnson. She's saying she got bumped and pushed by Moati Mabika. They don't call anything, but it's a turnover for the Liberty.
Sparks finally awakening from their slumber, but Mabika misses the free throw. Mabika only a 68% free throw shooter. But look at the improvement this season, getting playing time and becoming, in some respects, a go-to player for Orlando Woolridge.
She came into the league as the youngest player in the WNBA the very first year in '97. She was on the national team that played in the Olympics for Zaire and really has had no college experience, and she's only going to get better.
From Zaire, now the Congo. Inside the final minute of the first half. And a 3-second violation by New York. The Liberty starting to come apart at the seams a little bit here late in the half.
Well, New York, they were running their offense. They just got caught standing a little bit inside, obviously, with the 3-second call. And Richie Atabata says, you got the shot, you got to take it, Look. Talking directly to Crystal Robinson.
The Liberty have turned it over 3 times in the last 4 possessions. Fret fouled by Whitmore, I believe.
And now L.A. being the aggressor, getting the ball inside. Lakeisha Fret coming out of high school. She was a top high school player in the country. Went to University of Georgia. Can play all 5 positions.
There you see the free throw shooting. Next Saturday we'll be in Houston as the Mercury meet for the Houston Comets. Series season tied at 1 game apiece. Jennifer Gillum and the Mercury, Cynthia Cooper and the Comets. That's next Saturday, 4 Eastern, here on NBC.
You know, Phoenix is one of those teams, too. They really struggled in the first half, and Cheryl Miller has made some changes now. She cut a couple people, brought a couple people back to the team, and the chemistry seems like it's working a little better. There's still, Michelle Timms is not 100%. She's had that flu, and it's kept her down a little bit, but I think this league right now, even though we're at the halfway point, it's hard to say who still is going to be at the end. You know Houston's going to be there. That's for sure.
Lane violation nullified that last free throw, and now New York holding as the seconds tick away till halftime. About an 8-second differential between shot and game clock. Weatherspoon against Grubin. Here's Whitmore from the corner. Pretty shot. Tamika Whitmore, the rookie from Memphis.
Well, what a nice play by Teresa Weatherspoon to bring the clock all the way down. She drives, and she's going to kick it out.
And they won't get a shot away as the half comes to a close. But L.A. does end the half on an 8-2 run after New York had led by 16. The only L.A. advantage, 2-0 to open the game. And Kim Hampton so far has outplayed her Los Angeles counterpart, Lisa Leslie. Halftime score.
HomeCourtEdge TV is here for your viewing pleasure. Please click that button as we strive for 1,000 subscribers. Enjoy this video.
Welcome back to the Forum in Los Angeles, where at the half, the Liberty lead the Sparks by 10. I'm Lisa Milosky, and I spoke with both coaches at the half. Orlando Woolridge told his team at the half they needed to play more aggressive in the second half. He said, we are letting New York dictate the pace of the game. If we play defense, if we get the rebounds, we can run and we can win. He said, do not let this team intimidate you. New York's Richie Adobadu was very happy with New York's defense. He said, we had 10 steals and forced 13 turnovers. However, he said, we must stop the high-low action from Lisa Leslie into Delisha Milton. He said, Teresa Weatherspoon must keep heavy pressure on the ball. Tom?
All right, Lisa, as you see the leading scorers at halftime, Witherspoon and Hampton, the only players in double figures. Mabika missing the open shot of the second half. Milton can't hit, and it'll be New York ball.
If. And in that first half also, New York dominated the paint. They established themselves. They led LA 20-12 in points.
10-point game, New York's first possession of the second half. And looks like Los Angeles is going to try to step up the pressure. Witherspoon tried to split players, knocked away, taken by Mabika. Grubin got a screen. Now Leslie trying to post up. Three. Well, they say it too, a foot on the line, but I think her foot was on the NBA line, not the W.
Exactly, and I think somebody from the Sparks ought to say something about that.
That should have been a three because her foot was on the line, but it was the NBA line, the outside line, not the inside WNBA line.
Well, we talked about not only the way she pushes the ball, but she can knock down threes for this LA team.
Wicks, bad pass. Mabika leads. 2-on-2 break. Mabika all the way. Couldn't score. Tap no good. Hampton with another rebound for New York.
She hits it so hard against the board, and they're going to call a foul on LA. Mabika going down, but Mabika, when she takes off, goes so hard at the basket, it looks like Lakeisha Frett, that she doesn't have room to use the backboard because she almost jams it into the rim.
Mm-hmm.
See the ball come off the board, and New York is going. You see the foot hit the knee of Lakeisha Frett.
And Los Angeles will take a 20-second timeout as Frett is being helped from the court. Here it is again on this collision that sent Lakeisha Frett to the floor.
You know, a wonderful opportunity, really a 5-point swing for LA if they get that 3-point shot. Really a mistake by the officials in missing that, but with two lines out there, I guess it's easy for them to kind of misjudge where the shot was taken from, but also a missed layup by the Sparks.
Here's the shot by Grubin. Now, that's the NBA. The black line is the NBA three-point line. The inside one, the purple one, is the WNBA line. There's the WNBA line. Let's see where she shoots. Well, we saw her as she was preparing to shoot there, and it was clear the foot she had her line on was the NBA line. It should have been a three-pointer.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this game comes down to the wire, and if it's a one-point game, what will happen.
Well, now we're told by our crack stat man, Paul Time Zone Evans, that they have changed it to a three. They have changed it to a three, so the correct call was made.
Well, and they've got some good people over on the other side watching out also.
Quick hands. Mabika timed it perfectly. And here's Tamika Dixon into the game for Los Angeles, looking for some more of that instant offense. Mabika reverse. She made the steal. She converts it into 2 points.
She made a great hesitation move on the baseline, just froze the defense with a nice reverse.
Johnson, the crossover, got away from Mabika, missed the layup. Tapped to Grubin. 3-on-3. Mabika, Dixon, no good. Mabika's follow is not good, and Wicks has it for the Liberty.
Missing some easy shots, but Orlando Woolridge has inserted Tamika Dixon, kind of takes some pressure off Grubin, bringing the ball down the court.
New York has 6 turnovers their last 8 possessions going back to the first half.
and they have not established the inside game like they did in the beginning of the game. There they go inside.
Hampton trying to bull her way between players, and one. We talk about muscle.
And a technical.
Lisa Leslie gets the technical foul. Hampton was not going to be denied on that one. She just bang. That should have been a foul on Hampton.
And Lisa Leslie got a technical against Phoenix when she had a few choice words.
Vicki Johnson, a 94% free throw shooter, second in the league, misses the technical foul shot. Orlando Woolridge, who picked up a tee last week in Phoenix. The game in which Cheryl Miller had 2 tees and was disqualified, and then fined $5,000 for not leaving the court in a timely manner. Vicki Johnson's 0 for 3 at the free throw line, which will kill that second in the league free throw shooting average. Hampton completes the 3-point play. It's an 8-point New York lead. Impressed with Kim Hampton today. Her enthusiasm and energy have been first rate.
And she says a lot of that comes from Tamika Whitmore.
Dixon for 3. Dixon's dad is in the crowd today. Russell Boo Bowers, all-time great basketball player in his college days. Hampton, low post. She's been money down there. Double team. Witherspoon misses the 3. Made Hampton give it up that time. Dixon, the crossover. Grubin for 3. Wicks and Hampton come down together and they lose it. A sure New York rebound goes back to LA. Bad shot by Mabika. It wasn't a pass. Left her feet to pass. And Grubin can't hit. She kept it alive, though. Back tapped it.
Well, they got
Here's Dixon.
Time.
A 3-pointer.
You would have said, hey, set it up, and there's her dad, Boo Russell. Got Tamika's playing at the age of 3, coming out, watching him play, doing suicides with him, bringing the towel out. I was going to say, hey, set it back up, but LA with the shot right here. Tamika Dixon knocks down the 3. They come back down. Had second and third opportunities with loose ball, picking it up. I was going to say, bring it back out. 28 seconds left on the shot clock. Tamika Dixon wide open, knocking it down and getting the crowd back into it.
And her dad, Boo Bowers, who played as a professional in Europe and in South America, leading the cheers. He was here when the Sparks played the Mercury the other night, and Tamika looked for him all before the game, couldn't find him. So when she finally checked into the game, she runs on the court and she hears, "Let's go, Mika." And she knew her dad was there. She located him right away.
Got the smile going and everything was fine. She said her dream was to play in the NBA because her dad played with the Cavaliers a short while and then he was cut. She still had the dream. It wasn't the NBA. She got the WNBA.
And Tamika is now a co-author of a children's book. Vicki Johnson, floater, front rim no good. Wicks, offensive rebound, has it swiped. Taken away by Mabika, and then Witherspoon with a foul. Los Angeles has outscored New York 20-5 going back to the first half. Liberty clinging to a 2-point lead. Back in Los Angeles, where Tamika Dixon and the LA Sparks have just about authored a comeback against New York. And speaking of being an author, we mentioned Tamika has written a book. Let's go to Lisa.
Indeed, Tom. Tamika's been doing a lot more than playing basketball these days. This is the book. You Can Be a Woman Basketball Player. It's a lot of fun. In it, Tamika talks about beginning her basketball career at the age of 3 with her dad, Boo Bowers, and then going on and playing in high school, of course, and at Kansas, and now a professional women's basketball player in the WNBA. It's a lot of fun. It's available at bookstores across the country, and boy, are the Sparks coming on, Tom.
They've tied the score on the Grubin bank shot, and Lisa, you can keep that one. Lisa Molosky is expecting. You can keep that book. I think you're expecting a boy, but he could probably get some pointers as well.
That's okay. I like that. I like that, yeah.
Here's another Tamika Whitmore missing the shot in close.
Big difference so far in the second half. Not only how LA has come out here aggressive, but the boards. They've taken over the boards against New York.
In fact, they've out-rebounded them, as you see there, 8-2.
Good hands by Kim Hampton.
After out-rebounding Los Angeles in the first half, 15-12, New York has been swamped on the boards, 8-2 so far here in the second. Grubin for three. Easy rebound for Hampton.
She had plenty of time. They ran the out-of-bounds play very nicely.
Tie game. First time we've been tied since 6 apiece. Vicki Johnson, she's had a tough afternoon, and that'll help. Vicki now with 6 points.
And Vicki Johnson has really carried this team all season long so far. She's really stepped up with Richie Adebato as a coach this year.
Now 3 of 8 shooting. Inside, Milton, double team, scored anyway.
There's that high-low pass.
They've been most successful having taken Lisa Leslie out high and lobbing it in to Milton on the low post. She has 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Here's Hampton out high for New York. Johnson, that's a tough shot, heading sideways. She banked it in. 2 in a row for VJ, now with 8 points.
Good execution by New York on that double screen.
New York back up by a deuce. Dixon, the crossover, baseline, and a foul.
Vicki Johnson, a left-handed player, always running around screens. She's nonstop, a la John Havlicek. Just a tough player to guard all the time because she's on the move. And New York does a good job getting her the basketball.
Dixon called for her second foul, turns it over to New York.
I guess I should get a more recent player, huh, than John Havlicek?
Witherspoon misses. Here's Dixon. The hesitation and the drive, missed it.
She looks for the exciting plays.
Blocked out of bounds by Mabika with a weak side defensive help.
Good idea by New York. Crystal Robinson just makes a pinpoint pass to Kim Hampton a little high because you've got to go that way with Lisa Leslie coming to the fronting of it, but Moani Mabika was there to help out.
Milton to the bench as Nina Biedoff returns for Los Angeles. Vicki Johnson can't hit that one. Grubin all alone for the rebound. Dixon in a hurry. Picked up by Crystal Robinson. Leslie, good ball fake. Biedoff missed another easy shot. Hampton now has 8 rebounds.
Nice little jumper. Should have used the glass. Of course, I like that glass, especially when you have that angle.
Fundamentals. Robinson off a screen. Mabika right with her. Crystal Robinson. Tamika Dixon the rebound.
New York a little tired in this second half going to the boards.
Biedoff tied up by Witherspoon.
Biedoff's not going to take the ball away from Teresa Witherspoon, one of the strongest players in the league.
Weak, strong hands as Sue Wicks comes back in for New York. And Kim Hampton gets a rest. Hampton, who hopes to pursue a singing career when her basketball career is over after this season, has had one of her better games today with 13 points and 8 rebounds.
Well, she was 5 of 8 in that first half, struggling a little bit in the second half. LA doing a better job defensively against the post players.
Not a very good toss by the official there. It was about 2 feet off center, controlled by Los Angeles. Grubin feeds inside. Leslie thought she got pushed in the back, missing the layup. Witherspoon to Wicks. Leslie deflected it away, out of bounds. Last touched by Los Angeles. 11:52 left in the game from the Forum. It's a 2-point affair, and New York up by a deuce. Two-point game, and you won't want to sleep through these upcoming WNBA national telecasts on ESPN Monday, 7:30 Eastern, Charlotte in New York. Lifetime Friday at 9 Eastern Time, Utah and Los Angeles. with producer David Gibson, director Kelly Atkinson, Tom Hammond, Ann Myers, Lisa Molosky, and a wide-awake youngster at the Forum for a 2-point game.
Well, he's not missing a good one.
The big difference is the rebounding and the turnovers another. After those 13 first-half turnovers, LA has committed only 1 in the second half. There's a New York miscue giving LA a chance to tie.
They've had a lot of break situations, so they haven't turned it over in the half court.
Lisa Leslie goes up and under and draws the foul. Leslie's had a quiet game, only 4 points all in the first half.
It's one of the first times we've seen Lisa Leslie in a long time go down low and post out. Alicia Milton, who has been in the game earlier, they made that switch by putting Lisa Leslie up top. There she goes down low. You see the reach by Teresa Weatherspoon. But again, I think what it's done is kind of taken New York out of what Richie Adubato told us, that, boom, we're going to double team Lisa Leslie every time she gets a ball. Well, they did that in the first half early on, and they were so focused on it. Then Orlando Woolridge made the adjustment, and then they kind of took New York out of that defensive mindset of doubling down.
So Leslie's numbers on the day. That foul on Weatherspoon was her 3rd of the game. You mentioned earlier that her numbers are down, but her overall performance is up, perhaps at its highest level. The All-Star MVP getting other people involved in the game by making the passes and playing the all-round floor game in this her 3rd season.
And the first 2 years of this young league, she led in rebounding.
Robinson misses the 3-point shot. Leslie inside, Biedov bad hands, and another LA turnover.
Nina Biedov came over with Gordana Grubin from the Yugoslavian team that Orlando Woolridge saw this summer.
Weatherspoon takes it to the basket and scores. So a first basket of the game for Teaspoon.
Well, Richie Adubato talked about Teresa Weatherspoon getting more involved offensively. If teams are just going to lay off us, Weatherspoon has to step up and score.
She does have 7 assists. Wicks with a strong board, ripping it away from Lisa Leslie. 5 rebounds for Sue Wicks. New York controlling up 2. Whitmore the screen for Weatherspoon. Johnson dribbled it off her foot, able to chase it down and turn it over. A careless, unforced error by Richie Adubato's Liberty.
Ricky Johnson went with a crossover right behind the pick as Teresa Whitmore was moving, and the ball bounced off her foot. And by that time, you see Johnson trying to pick it up, lost sight of it, and said, oh, well, we lost it.
Too much dribbling, I thought. Mabika missed the bank shot. Look at the Wicks rebound against Leslie once again. Now 7 for Sue Wicks.
Sue Wicks really plays hard on this team, and she got the break when Rebecca Lobo went down in the very first game, and Sue Wicks, one of the oldest players in this league, has really made those minutes work for her.
Whitmore finds Teaspoon with 10 to shoot. 6 to shoot. Wicks, Whitmore got it away. Bad looking shot though, and Leslie, good position. Wicks over the back for the foul. First foul on Wicks. Here's Hampton returning for New York. And Whitmore to the bench.
Kim Hampton only 3 points in the second half. She's got to get a little bit more fire in the second half, get things going, play with some passion.
Guarding Leslie. Here's the double down from Wicks. Right through Biedov's hands, but luckily Mabika was standing there. And again, some careless ball handling. Dixon tight roping, able to save it. 5 to shoot. And Dixon is bailed out. The Sparks are bailed out by the foul committed by Crystal Robinson, number 2.
Well, even though the ball went through Biedov's hands and she's going to come out of the game, Delisha Milton in for, it was almost like Wani Mabika didn't want to shoot it. Somebody's got to want to shoot the basketball on this LA team, and they've become so unselfish sometimes, and they've got some players that are really offensive-minded, but you've got to look at open shots when you've got them.
Rubin and Teaspoon. Teaspoon fighting over the Leslie screen. Hampton with a push in the back commits the foul. Kim Hampton has 4.
Hampton pleading her case, saying that the ball was way out there and she was making the cut.
And for Los Angeles, here's Yukari Figs into the game, replacing Grubin. Figs is the rookie from national champion Purdue, all Big Ten player who prepped at Scott County, Kentucky High School, will return to Purdue in the fall to get her mechanical engineering degree.
And was MVP of that Final Four series.
Dixon, tough shot. Right back to her. She was lying on her back. Mabika launches a 3. And a foul called. It'll be 3 free throws coming up.
Well, Tamika Dixon skied for that rebound, didn't she?
Vicki Johnson committing her second foul. Here's 2 possessions now that New York has bailed Los Angeles out with fouls. They had nowhere to go up against the shot clock. And Robinson commits the foul. And here, Mabika had an awkward shot on its way, but is bailed out with a foul.
And New York still, Tom, they are playing good defense because LA is not shooting the ball well. They're missing a lot of shots, and I think New York, they still have the lead. They're up by 1, and they've got to feel confidence in the fact that you got to come down and run your offense. They can get it going again.
Mabika hits 2 of 3, and we're tied at 44.
Well, and this has got to be a veteran move by Teresa Weatherspoon as far as taking advantage of the rookie. Yukari Figs with that ankle sprain, her conditioning maybe not all there, and it's a mismatch that you've got to recognize as a starter out there.
Crystal Robinson with another miss, but Mabika commits her 3rd foul, which will give it back to New York.
And give credit again. We talked about Woolridge making a gutsy move, bringing Yukari Figs in and starting as a rookie on this team before she got hurt.
Figs sprained her right ankle against Minnesota on July 1st, and this is the first time she's been back in action since then. Vicki Robinson hit her first shot, a 3-pointer, but has missed 5 in a row since then. She goes to the bench as Witherspoon returns. Robinson still in there. It was Vicki Johnson that went out, and Robinson does hit the 3 there. So finally, Crystal Robinson again finds the range, and New York leads by 3. Witherspoon.
And Moati Mabika got away with a charge maybe, so she ought to be happy it's just a turnover.
She lost the ball out of bounds. It'll be New York's basketball. No foul, but a turnover. I don't think it was a foul. I think she just lost the ball out of bounds, even though Witherspoon went to the court.
Well, it was a one-on-one situation. Moati Mabika made up her mind that she was going to the basket instead of just feeling the defense and maybe just popping out and taking the outside shot.
Well, they do charge her with a foul, and it's number 4. So they did assess the offensive foul to Mabika. Crystal Robinson, not shy about shooting, missing again. Figs has broken up by Hampton, intended for Delisha Milton. 7:57 left in this one. Liberty still on top. They're up 47-44. The WNBA on NBC. New York made a priority of stopping Lisa Leslie today to have a chance of beating Los Angeles, and they've done a good job. 6 points, that's 10 below her average, 9th leading scorer in the NBA. And true to form, New York is playing tough defense today, holding Los Angeles to sub 40% shooting.
Well, they're being so aggressive. They've got strong players, and these two teams have met 8 times, and New York leads in the series 5-3, and whatever team has led at halftime has won.
That was New York in this case. They are up 10 at intermission. Fred,
nice
who bumped her knee earlier in the game, is back in action.
Crystal Robinson looks like she gets all ball on that.
But a foul is called on Crystal, number 3.
And Robinson rolled her ankle in practice yesterday. There you see Lakeisha Fred trying to go up for the shot, and Crystal Robinson making the right call for the jump ball.
Had her hand on top of the ball. Fred dances around the rim and falls off. "17 minutes in the game after bumping knees. Had to be helped off the court, if you remember. Misses both free throws, but Mabika kept it alive. Now they scramble for it. Mabika, or no, it's Milton, excuse me, trying to create some space, and finally is fouled.
And I don't know why the officials didn't blow the whistle, because New York, Sue Wicks stepped into the lane before the shot was even taken. The shot should have been taken again, and they let the play go. So, you know, I'm surprised that they didn't call that.
Instead, it results in foul number 5 being called on Kim Hampton, who's been one of the New York mainstays in this game. Hampton is the leading scorer in the game, as a matter of fact, with those 13 points. And Venus Lacey set to come in as Hampton picks up her 5th. Delisha Milton.
And Venus Lacey won't give you many points down low for New York, but she is a big body.
Tonight on CNBC, the Olympic Show takes a look at endurance, a documentary about the life of Ethiopian distance runner Haile Gebrselassie. That's the Olympic Show tonight on CNBC. Check your local listings for the time in your area.
Venus Lacey played on the Olympic team along with Lisa Leslie, who has a gold medal.
(47-46), New York by a point. Free throw gave Milton her 12th point of the game. Witherspoon, who had 11 in the first half, has not scored in the second half. And here's an illegal screen call on Venus Lacey.
Well, the arms got caught up. Delisha Milton with those long arms. Venus Lacey cutting across the key, and there you see their arms right there. And Lacey, maybe not much of a shove, but I think with her being the bigger player, it looks more obvious.
Looked like a flop. Leslie had it poked away and out of bounds. I was mentioning Sophia Witherspoon, who had the good offensive first half, 11 points, has gotten only 1 shot here in the second half. Figs against Witherspoon. Rookie against veteran. And the rookie had it taken away by the veteran. 3-on-2 break for New York. Witherspoon to Wicks. Missed the layup. Then Figs fell down. Wicks gets another chance. This one goes and one.
Teaspoon all over the place. She never gives up. She's got the eye of the tiger. Wicks is lucky on this in the sense of, okay, she misses a shot, and Teaspoon right there on the defensive end. But Delisha Milton, instead of, I know she wants to create a situation where Sue Wicks misses, but you back away. If you're not going to do anything, don't get any contact and turn your back on the player.
Wicks bricks the free throw, however. She got style points for making it after missing a wide open one.
Well, Yukari Figs is going to have to get into the mindset again of taking care of the basketball.
Leslie missing right under the rim, and Lacey hauls it down for New York. Liberty up 3. 6.5 minutes left.
I'm sorry, Tom. LA's going to have to do a better job of feeling like they've got to get over the hump, because New York, LA gets close and boom. Then they just start spreading it. Lisa Leslie and Venus Lacey kind of shoving it at each other. Lisa Leslie felt that Venus Lacey used her elbow, but what's happening right now, LA is frustrated because they're getting close and can't take charge. New York is just being steady. There again, Lisa Leslie going up, physical contact. Venus Lacey with a little shove. Lisa Leslie on the second one coming back, and that's what they saw.
Leslie called for the foul. And then the pushing and shoving. We'll see if that results.
Well, there's an elbow right there to Lisa Leslie's head. Again, we talked about these two teammates on the Olympic team where they went at each other.
Did they like each other then? They don't seem to be too pleased with each other, and a technical foul has been called on Venus Lacey.
Well,
so
I'm sure that wasn't for the elbow, because that was way down before.
Brett hits the technical free throw.
Well, it might be something that New York needs to kind of get some fire under them, too. Kim Hampton, who had such a good first half, got into foul trouble. Now Richie Adebato bringing Venus Lacey, the enforcer, in.
And Lacey hit the free throw line after the foul was called on Leslie. Venus picked up as some inside insurance by Richie Adubato. He's seen Kim Hampton sit with 5 fouls, so Lacey's into the game. Averaging just 2 points, but a good free throw shooter at 82%. And the veteran Olympian puts New York up by 4. Free throws 19 shot by the Sparks, only 9 by New York, but New York leads. Leslie drives on Wicks, got right around her. That's too easy.
That was a pretty move.
Only point number 8 for Lisa Leslie. Still 8 below her average. Witherspoon off a screen, back to Wicks. Diagonal pass. Robinson under pressure. Knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Los Angeles. Not a good shot by Crystal Robinson.
No, it's those double picks. But here's the move by Lisa Leslie. When she's at the top of the key, she can hit that 3, so the defense has to come out on her, and she makes a nice little move. Not a bad ball handler for a big player.
Crystal Robinson now only 2 of 9. Taking some off-balance shots, not square to the basket. Milton lost it, and then is called for the violation. And Los Angeles turns it over.
Well, there, Delisha Milton just indecisive as far as what to do. Once she took the dribble, she was stuck, but you still got to make a move or get the pass out quick.
Teaspoon back in as Witherspoon goes out. There's another Robinson shot, another off-balance one. Los Angeles turns it over, so neither team able to get anything going here in the recent possessions.
A little sloppy. Moati Mabika coming into the game just goes high for a rebound, and the Sparks have some exciting players like a Mabika or a Dixon to try and make things happen.
19 LA turnovers. Johnson. Wicks. A 3-second violation by New York. Well, play deteriorating rapidly here on both ends with 4:41 remaining.
And New York continues to keep the lead, though.
Liberty up by 2.
Now, whether LA can hit some outside shots, which is what Richie Adubato wants his team to force LA into, or continue to get the ball inside. But I think a lot of LA's scoring has to come from the defensive end as far as the boards are concerned to get their running game going.
Grubin against Teaspoon. Here's Frett. Teaspoon with a steal, and Grubin the reach-in foul, preventing the fast break opportunity by the Liberty.
And really not a bad foul by Grubin because it was a 2-on-1 break by New York.
3 straight Sparks turnovers. What's going on here?
Well, and in the beginning of this first half, we mentioned that first half they had 13 turnovers, and then to start the second half they only had 1, and now it's starting again.
And now they have 20 for the game. Neither team has played well here in the last couple of minutes.
And the assists are down for LA.
Johnson shooting outside, a 3, no good. Mabika the rebound. New York's been running any offense at all on recent possessions. Grubin's floater, she kept it alive, but chased down by Robinson of New York. Liberty with the ball, just under 4 minutes left.
Those are one of the kind of shots that goes in, it's a good shot. It didn't go in.
28% shooting by the Sparks, and New York not exactly lighting it up. There's a 3 by Crystal Robinson. I've got it now. She can only hit from beyond the arc. She has 9 points, all on 3-pointers.
She's one of the league leaders in 3-point shots.
Crystal came into the game as the 4th leading 3-point shooter at 44%. She's hit 3 times 3, but her 2-point shots have not been there. She does have the 9 points, as we said, and Teresa Weatherspoon with 10 assists on that pass to Crystal Robinson for 3.
And New York spreading the floor. They set good picks. They have players like Robinson, Witherspoon, and Johnson coming off. There you see the three-point field goal percentage with the players that are playing in this game. And right now, New York is taking advantage of the three-point shots.
With 3:29 on the clock, the New York Liberty bidding for the upset and only their third win on the road this season, leading Los Angeles 54-49.
And LA has 3 home games coming up against Orlando, Utah, and Washington. And New York will go back home and play Charlotte.
A New York win would keep them in first place in the East. Coming in a half game ahead of Detroit. Whistle away from the ball. And a foul called. Lisa Leslie charged with a personal. Will take a timeout. That's 4 on Lisa.
Working with a
The WNBA on NBC next Saturday.
54-49 New York. The Liberty making it a priority of stopping the All-Star MVP Lisa Leslie today. And Lisa, who grew up in the shadow of the Forum in Inglewood Morningside High School, first came to a clinic here as a high school player, has only 8 points today. They held her to 12 in the New York victory at Madison Square Garden earlier this season, limiting her to 8 points so far this afternoon.
And this is the game we talked so much about the LA Sparks team with the balance that they have scoring-wise, that they can kind of take up the slack with Lisa Leslie, but she still has to be a force inside.
Wicks threw a dangerous pass, deflected out of bounds. New York gets it back with 11 to shoot.
There's been a couple spurts by the LA Sparks as far as getting back into this game and running, but overall New York has done a good job controlling the tempo of this game.
8 to shoot. Hampton up and under, tough shot. She rips down the rebound, and a walking violation is called as she and Mabika came down together. I thought it should have been a jump ball. They called a walk, but I'm not sure which player had possession.
And she cannot believe it. Richie Adebayo cannot believe it. The whole New York bench jumped up.
LA ball, 2:45 and counting. They trail by 5. Leslie, low post. Triple team, gave it up to Milton. Back in, the re-entry to Leslie. Puts it up, good, and one.
In the LA Sparks, this is where you like to get it the old-fashioned way. Lisa Leslie kicked it back out and came right back to her. You have to trust your teammates to know that the ball will come back to you and be patient in the offense.
Kim Hampton is just fouled out of the game. The leading scorer in the contest with 13 has just fouled out of the game.
Not happy at all. She made a difference, really establishing the New York presence inside in the beginning of the first half. Foul trouble really hurt her in the second half, and she never got on track.
Leslie completes the three-point play. And LA has cut the lead to only 2.
And obviously every possession is going to be important.
Robinson. Johnson. Vicki Johnson never got over the level of the rim. Wicks dives to save it for New York.
Mawadi Mabika going to get called for the foul, but initially what happened, she played good defense on Vicki Johnson. Johnson really never got her legs underneath her to take that three-pointer, and the Mawadi release just failed to screen out Vicki Johnson, and that created the loose ball.
5 fouls on Mawadi Mabika of Los Angeles. 2:16 left. 2-point New York lead. And a New York foul called away from the ball. Richie Adebayo's reaction is priceless.
Well, you can't help him going nuts on the sideline.
Crystal Robinson called for her 4th foul.
It happened right in front of his bench.
There's a tripping call on Weatherspoon. And it'll be 4 on Teresa. Gordana Grubin will go to the free throw line for Los Angeles, and Adebayo trying to cool down. Gordana only a 66% free throw shooter. And the lefty sinks the first. Sports Car Racing returns to NBC Sports tomorrow. The American Le Mans Series Grand Prix of Sonoma tomorrow at 4 Eastern here on NBC.
You know, this is a natural rival, LA and New York. And this is the very first inaugural game of the season of 1997 here in Los Angeles, where New York beat LA.
We're tied at 54. 2 minutes left. The 5th tie in the second half. But LA has not been able to get over the hump. They've never been able to get the lead since 2-0. Johnson, jump stop, shot good. Vicki Johnson. A little backcourt pressure from Sue Wicks. LA brings it up. Sparks now down 2 with 1:40, counting down. Leslie wants it, has it on the low post against Wicks. Turns baseline and is fouled.
That's a tough shot right there, in LA looks like in this last minute, 27 seconds left, they're going to come down inside and establish that inside play with Lisa Leslie. But on the other side, Vicki Johnson, who's left-handed, nice little jumper, gets good lift, rises right over Delisha Milton.
2 shots upcoming for Lisa Leslie. The post action against Sue Wicks. And as Leslie spins on the baseline, she draws the foul and sinks the first free throw. MVP of the very first All-Star game. As we said, she grew up here in Ingleside. But actually the first time we were surprised, the first time she actually played in the Forum despite coming here as a youth, was in that first WNBA game. And who did she square off against in the very first jump ball? Sue Wicks. She said they laughed about it at the All-Star game where they also jumped to start that game. But that was the first time that Lisa Leslie played here in the Forum.
And Kim Hampton involved in that too, but you'd be surprised, yeah. The fact that she was as many years as she played at USC and Morningside, but Crystal Robinson staying tough for New York.
The three-point specialist, Crystal Robinson, 3 times 4, all 12 points from behind the arc. New York by 3. Grubin to answer. Goes for Los Angeles. Tied at 59. Dangerous that Weatherspoon took up her dribble, but got it back. Shot clock at 7. Here's a 3 by Robinson. Wow! 5 3-pointers. She has not scored from 2-point range. Make it a 3, and Crystal will sink it.
She was 5 of 5 earlier in the season in a big game against Utah, where they won in overtime.
I wonder if I could convince Crystal to go down to Del Mar with me. I bet we could hit a trifecta. 27.7 seconds left. Liberty up. Welcome back to the Forum, where the New York Liberty, winners only twice on the road all season behind the 3-point shooting by Crystal Robinson, lead the Los Angeles Sparks 62-59 with just over 27 seconds left. Grubin in a hurry for Los Angeles.
They're looking for Lisa Leslie. I say you can't take too much time off the clock.
15 seconds. Mabika launches a 3 and hits. Tied at 62. Timeout New York. 7.8 seconds left. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. 5th 3-pointer of the game Mabika just throws it up there and buries it to tie the score. And the Sparks, with 7.8 seconds left, have knotted it at 62. New York ball. 5 seconds. Here's Robinson. Floater. Rolled off. Overtime.
They got a good shot at it. They got the ball in the right person's hands.
It just wasn't a three. She's 0 for 4 from two-point range. Crystal Robinson, who had hit the 5 3-pointers, now it's only 5 of 14 for the game, but got a good look at it. Sandwiched by the two defenders. Puts it up, no good. It rolls off, and we're headed to overtime. Los Angeles and New York headed to OT, tied at 62. And Los Angeles tied at 62, and New York has not lost an overtime game. 6-0 in their 3 seasons almost of existence. Both teams 1-0 in this campaign. Wicks against Leslie, a jump ball will finally be controlled by LA. It's Fret, Milton, Rubin, Leslie, and Mabika for Los Angeles. Leslie will shoot 2 free throws. For New York, it's Lacey. Remember, Kim Hampton fouled out. Sue Wicks, Vicki Johnson, Teresa Weatherspoon, and Crystal Robinson.
And before Crystal Robinson, Kim Hampton really was the stronghold of this team for New York in this game.
13 points by Lisa Leslie, 9 of them coming in the second half. And she gives LA its first lead since they were up 2-0.
New York really kept her in check in that first half, and in the second half, towards the end of this game, she is the one going down low, getting herself to the free throw line.
Leslie perfect at the line with those 2 free throws. And Los Angeles has a 2-point lead the first time since they were up 2-0. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists for Lisa Leslie. Johnson's floater, back rim. Wicks, tough offensive rebound. Her follow shot way off. Milton the rebound. Leslie, low post against Lacey, laid it in. Too quick. And the Sparks have their biggest lead of the game.
Well, she got the position, kind of threw those arms out and nailed Lacey, and Lacey just kind of backed off just for that split second.
Weatherspoon. Johnson just kept going, found Wicks, and Wicks backs it home. Wicks.
And what LA has to remember is that Vicki Johnson is left-handed. She's natural going that way.
LA by 2. Leslie for 3. Lisa Leslie. $20 points now for Leslie after New York had done a superb job of keeping her in check for the first 30 minutes of this game. Here's a New York foul.
Listen, Leslie, there you see her posting up down low, and there you see, boom, right into Venus Lacey. And as soon as Lacey went back, it opened up Lisa Leslie to go baseline. And then she, in scoring that basket and the 2 free throws beforehand, she looked really relaxed. She's got a lot of confidence shooting the basketball. And there's her stepdad and her mom, Christina, who's always here at the games.
Looking for Leslie again. Instead, Mabika for 3. Wicks with the board. Robinson for 3. She missed that one. Mabika in trouble. Fret chases it down for the Sparks. Rubin for 3. Mabika, offensive board. LA gets it back. 2.5 left in overtime.
Orlando Woolridge saying, let's use some clock.
Leslie threw a bad pass. Came back up with it. 12 to shoot. Grubin, teaspoon right with her. 4 to shoot. Leslie lost it.
Venus Lacey getting called for the foul.
Well, that's a disastrous turn of events for New York. There was 1 second on the shot clock and the ball was loose. It was going to be a shot clock violation against Los Angeles. Instead, Lacey with the foul. Huge mistake. LA gets it back with a fresh 30.
And even though LA is wanting to use the shot clock, New York plays such good defense that they're forcing LA to take a rush shot.
2 minutes left in overtime. Fred, fouled by Wicks.
This will be a tough loss for Richie Adubato and his team if they let this get away. They're only down by 5 right now. They're still very much in it.
But Fred, who is a 86% free throw shooter, 80% free throw shooter, will go to the line. And Richie Adubato in the Liberty, who led by 16 in the first half, saw Mawadi Mabika hit an off-balance 3 to put it into overtime, and now taking the 22nd timeout, down 69-64 with 1:56 left in the OT. Tonight on NBC, be sure to check out The Pretender at 8/7 Central, followed by the NBC feature presentation, Her Costly Affair at 9/8 Central. It's a night of great television here on NBC.
And as embarrassed as New York was against Sacramento the other night, they have come in here against Los Angeles totally focused. They've played great defense. The shots aren't falling. Crystal Robinson has come off the bench to be a big spark. It'll be a tough one to let this one go for New York, which would mean that they would be 2-6 on the road so far this season. But they have really battled LA in this game.
And their lead in the Eastern Conference in jeopardy. Came in a half game up on Detroit. And the Shock, after a slow start, starting to find their game. Fred, an excellent free throw shooter, as we said. Hits the first one, only her 3rd point of the game. She doesn't score much. Average of 5.
At her height, she gives you good defense, though, with those long arms.
Second free throw, no good. Out of bounds. Last touch by Milton of Los Angeles.
You'd like to see New York get the ball in Crystal Robinson or Vicki Johnson's hands. They've been scoring so well for the Liberty.
New York down by 6.
Sue Wicks knew as soon as she turned around that it was going to be an offensive foul, setting the pick.
Well, that's exactly what they did not need. Wicks with the foul, her 4th. LA gets it right back. The Sparks have battled from behind all day. They began the day almost in a lackluster fashion. They're very flat to start the game. At one time in the first half, they were down by 16. Turning point would appear to be Orlando Woolridge getting his team in a timeout and absolutely going crazy, reading them the riot act. They came back with a run just before halftime to close the gap to 10. They played on pretty much even terms here through the second half. And then the two teams trading threes to put it into overtime, one by Crystal Robinson, one by Mawadi Mabika. Now LA turns it over, gives New York another chance. 1:20 in overtime. Crystal Robinson, an air ball 3 attempt. She's lost the magic.
Well, in LA, even off that missed shot by New York, I mean, they're in a situation, they still got to push the ball up the court. They've got to keep the pressure on New York.
Leslie down low, the hook.
And how she got the glass on that one.
Lisa Leslie, after the slow start, has 22 points. 22nd timeout by the New York Liberty. At one time, the Sparks trailed 26-10. In the words of their coach, Orlando Woolridge, you're about to be run out of here.
Well, Gordana Grubin, recognizing that Lisa Leslie was wide open, had great position. A nice bounce pass, gave herself a good passing angle. And again, Lisa Leslie's mom excited if LA is looking for 3 in a row.
And today's Buick Regal player of the game is Lisa Leslie, who leads all scorers with 22, coming on late. Buick Supercharged Regal will donate $1,000 in Lisa's name to Team Concept Cure to help find a cure for breast cancer.
And New York in a situation, Tom, I mean, they've got plenty of possessions with 55.9 seconds left. They've got some three-pointers. They don't need three-pointers, and they have stopped going inside where they dominated the paint early in the game against Los Angeles. And now with Kim Hampton out and Tamika Whitmore, she's been out of the game, Sue Wicks and Venus Lacey, New York has stopped going there.
Weatherspoon misses a long-range two. She had a foot on the line. Kim Hampton fouled out. That was one of the turning points for New York as well, because she was having one of her better games when she was sent to the bench with 6 fouls. So that was one of the key points for New York.
And you see the disappointment on Kim Hampton's face with her team losing this game and her not being able to contribute. But on that shot also by Teresa Weatherspoon, a quick shot off the out of bounds, which is great if you got the open shot, but short, and LA coming up with it.
And LA conceding the shot to Teaspoon, actually, and she compounded her mistakes by having the foot on the line. If it had counted, it would have been only a 2, and there wasn't a defender close to her. She still was on the line. In any event, Fret just about putting it away now for the Sparks. That'll do it. They're up by 10 with 47 seconds left. Here's what LA does not want to do, commit a foul. Lakeisha Fret will put another gray hair in Orlando Woolridge's head. I see a few grays up there.
Switch everything.
Lisa Leslie went the first 34 minutes against double-teaming New York defense. At times, she was called out on the floor to make the high-low pass into Delisha Milton. Only 6 points in the first 34 minutes. But in the last 10, Lisa Leslie has scored 16. And LA is on the verge of winning its 10th game in the last 12 outings.
Crystal Robinson trying to bring them back. She's not quitting.
Lisa Leslie alone has outscored New York 16-13 in the last 10 minutes.
Well, that's kind of what Sacramento did with Yolanda Griffith, getting 19 rebounds to the team total of New York 18 rebounds.
Free throw good by Crystal Robinson. 16 for her. That's the first point she scored that didn't come by way of a 3. Steal. Robinson for 3. Well, 5 quick points by the Liberty, and then a foul of Grubin committed by Vicki Johnson.
Well, Mawadi Mabika, you just can't, and again, we talked about the inexperience and the youth that she has in playing this game. She's got to want the ball and take control of it. She passes it back to Lisa Leslie, and nice move by Vicki Johnson. The press is on by New York. Crystal Robinson is already set up for the three-pointer. Very relaxed, wide open shot. She's bringing them right back into it.
Grubin, not a particularly good free throw shooter, 66%. 27 seconds remaining. It's a 5-point game. And now 6. And timeout New York. Full timeout taken by the New York Liberty, which means they can inbound the ball in front court when they get possession with 27.1 seconds remaining. 75-69, LA leads.
Sunday night, 8 Central.
27.1 seconds left. It's 75-69 in overtime. Los Angeles leading New York. Kim Hampton fouling out of the game for the Liberty. They missed her inside presence. Shortly after that, Lisa Leslie went on a tear. 16 points in the last 11 minutes for Leslie.
And if New York gets some good execution on these out-of-bounds plays, they're right in it.
Robinson for 3, and she got another one off the inbounds play. It's a 3-point game. Milton in backcourt quickly fouled by Teaspoon with 23 seconds left.
And coming out, obviously Orlando Woolridge, you're setting up your defense against New York and what they were going to do. Good execution by the New York Liberty. Again, you know the ball is going to go into either Vicki Johnson, most likely Crystal Robinson's hands. She makes a nice another three, her 7th of the game, but then you've got to be ready to get the ball out of bounds and get the ball in the hands of your best free throw shooter.
7 3-pointers, 23 points for Crystal Robinson. Delisha Milton, a 75% free throw shooter.
I find it interesting that Lisa Leslie, who's one of the top free throw shooters on this Sparks team, that she's taking the ball out of bounds instead of her receiving the ball and then getting the foul and putting her at the line, because she's shooting from the free throw line today very well.
3-to-1 disparity at the free throw line in free throws for the Sparks. And New York only hitting 6 of their 11. 2 missed free throws. Wicks the board for New York. 20 seconds left. The lead is 3. Here's Crystal Robinson. They want her to try a 3. She was stopped. Johnson finds Wicks. Wicks kicks it back outside. 4 seconds. 3. 1 second. Shot on its way. No good. New York really looked disorganized in that last possession. Never able to get the ball in the hands of the three-point shooters. And Los Angeles holds on for the victory. (75-72) in overtime. The Los Angeles Sparks with a hard-fought victory over the New York Liberty. At one time, Los Angeles trailed by 16 in the first half. Crystal Robinson with those 7 3-pointers, the game's top scorer with 23.
And here's a mistake right there. Crystal Robinson picked up her dribble, and Vicki Johnson thought that she was going to continue. That's why Johnson cut behind. And then Sue Wicks, realizing that 2 points wasn't going to help them, kicked it back down. And Tamika Whitmore with Delisha Milton on her. By that time was running out. They had to shoot it. Robinson and Johnson were discussing the play afterwards, weren't happy about it. But in essence, the bottom line is they didn't get a good shot off.
Tamika Whitmore had the open look at the 3, but the rookie a little hesitant to pull the trigger. And Lisa Leslie, who scored 16 points in the last 11 minutes, had 22 for the game, leads the Los Angeles Sparks to victory over the New York Liberty. Let's go to Lisa Miloski.
Thanks, Tom. I'm here with the victorious coach, Orlando Woolridge. Orlando, I don't know about you, but my heart is beating pretty fast. That was a wild finish.
That was an incredible finish. One of the things we wanted to do was play good defense, and by way of our defense, we would have a chance to win the game. We had some big threes in regulation time to get it to overtime. You know, we got a big lead in overtime, but we know we had a couple lapses and we allowed them to get back into the game. So a lot of people wonder why I have gray hair right now, and that's why I finish just like this.
I don't see too many. So you were trailing by 16 points in this game at one point. You came on really in the second half. What do you attribute to that? I know you were giving them some pretty heavy pep talks there in the huddles.
Well, one thing I wanted them to do was just come out and compete. I thought that New York did a great job of taking the game to us. They were very physical. We were playing back on our heels. We're the type team, as long as we're in attack mode, as long as we're aggressive, we play well. So the thing I wanted them to do at halftime was just go out and compete, play the way that we've been playing, and just go out and try to win the ball game.
Orlando, a big week. Houston, you beat Houston. Then you beat Phoenix. Now you beat New York. How good are the Sparks?
Well, we're going to give ourselves a chance, without a doubt. We're going to try to win a championship, but we have to take it one game at a time, and that's our approach. We have a way that we go out and work. If we continue to do this, taking one game at a time, we're going to give ourselves a chance.
This was a big step. Let's go over to Tom Hammonds with Lisa Leslie. Tom and Annie?
Thank you, Lisa. And Lisa Leslie, our player of the game, is here. New York made it a priority of stopping you, and they did so early in the game. Then the last 16 minutes, you just went crazy. The last 11 minutes, you scored 16 points. What made the difference?
I just tried to just be patient. I knew that they were going to come at me hard. They double team, triple team me. I just tried to get the ball out as much as possible. But I just felt like our team, we had 2 big really threes, and I thought, well, this is definitely our game. It's time for me to really step it up. So I got inside. Instead of passing it out, I just started to take it one-on-one.
Well, you did a great job, and a big win for the Sparks, who keep their momentum going now. In overtime, Los Angeles beating New York. Mawadi Mabika hit.
Hey guys, my name is Kayla Padilla. I'm a sophomore guard at the University of Pennsylvania. Been training with HomeCourtEdge for almost 10 years now. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us on all of HC's social media channels, and stay tuned for our journey.